Hey guys, welcome back to another movie review. I know quite a few people have been asking me if I was going to see the new Judy Garland film that's just entitled Judy, starring Renee Zellweger. Apparently in the Garland fandom, this move for me to go see that is apparently like walking across a picket line. Little did I know, but frankly I don't care because I've been following this project and its development for over 10 years. Of course I'm gonna go frickin' see it. Never mind that Liza and Lorna themselves are boycotting it. You know what? That's cool. It's about their mama, and if they want to boycott it, that's fine. That's their prerogative. That doesn't mean I have to boycott it. Frankly, I really wanted to see it. Partly to see what they got right, partly to see what they got wrong. I wanted to see if it was a total shit show, on one hand. On the other hand, I mean, the trailers made it look good, okay? But I've been following this project back since it was supposed to be Anne Hathaway playing Judy, so just throwing that out there. So, I got to see it yesterday, which, apparently it was only in theaters for, like, a week and a few days, at least out here. I can't speak for other areas, so I damn near ran out of time to go see it, but my dad took pity on me since Kimberly flaked out and took me, and actually I'm kind of glad he was the one, since she kind of just bitched about the whole thing, whereas he actually was, like, into it, which is surprising as a hetero man, but, you know, I know a few that like her, so there's that. I mean, I wouldn't call him a fan, but I mean, it's one of those sort of fandom by proxy things where I've been such a diehard fan of her my entire freaking life to where, to some degree, he has enough knowledge through raising me to where it's just like, he knows enough to keep up and follow along. But anyways, I'm going to start off saying I did like it, but but there is a lot of things that are factually a train wreck that they did not get right. So I mean, I could see where for just the average individual watching this, who, I mean, they may have a cursory knowledge of Judy, or maybe they've heard the name, they don't really know crap beyond the Wizard of Oz. For them, it's probably deemed close enough. But for somebody who's an obsessive fan, I was like, oh boy, we are in the same territory of every time I watch a movie based on the Beatles and I nitpick all the things that are incorrect. Yeah, this is like that. And boy, there was a lot of things to nitpick that were incorrect. I mean, right off the bat, I'm just gonna throw it out there, their timeline is fucked. I mean, I knew it couldn't possibly be right when they were talking about, like, her last night at the Talk of the Town engagements, and she's talking about it snowing. And I'm like, wait a minute, so she's already gone and married Mickey Deans. We know she has to be this close to killing herself. She died in June. She married Mickey Deans 3 months before she died. Why the hell is there snow that she's talking about? Yet in the epilogue of the film, it mentions that was 6 months before she died, and it's like, wait, time out, did we totally overlook the fact that she married Mickey Deans 3 months before she died? So, you know, there's that, and so that's my knowledge, they weren't split up since he's the one who found her in the bathroom dead, so what the fuck was that? I don't know if they were trying to go like the female empowerment route of having her leave this man that she was bickering with so badly, even though that's not what happened. I mean, I could believe they probably did bicker like that, but they weren't split up when she died, so what the fuck was that? And they weren't even married 6 months. That's literally part of the drama around when she did die. He didn't want to pay for crap because he's like, why is that my problem? I was only married to her for 3 months, and left that on her kids. Nice guy. So, I mean, there's that right off the bat. I don't know if whoever was in charge of casting has ever seen what Mickey Deans looked like, but, Mickey Deans was a goofy-looking motherfucker, and in this they made him attractive. And, not gonna lie, the scene they have him show up in is at a party that apparently Liza's at, and for the time frame that this would have been taking place in, honest to God, I thought that was Peter Allen that was walking out, and then... Wait, that's supposed to be Mickey Deans. Yeah, I may have audibly laughed in the theater over this fact. Not to mention, whoever's in charge of casting, have you ever seen a photo of Lorna and Joey? Because that was not even fucking close. Didn't even get the right eye color for Lorna, but I mean, just overall, this looked nothing like either of these children. I'm not criticizing the child actors, it's not their fault, all they did was get hired, but whoever was in charge of the hiring, what the fuck was that? Hell, even with Liza, there's so many people who have portrayed her well, yet you found one who cannot even a tiny bit mimic her voice, or the way she speaks, or anything, not even, like, this much. Like, this person, sure, they had a Liza wig on and some eye makeup and a mini dress. The voice, though, I may as well have been playing her because it sounded that far away from actually being Liza. Oh, by the way, she was only in one scene. For like a minute. I cannot. But, not to mention, they have her, like, out in California. For that point in time, Liza was living in New York, thank you. Oh, but she's working on one of her shows. I'm like, even with your fuzzy timelines, at best, maybe she would have been in California to work on the Sterile Cuckoo, but you said it was because she has a new show she's working on, which would have been in New York. I'm just like, what the fuck? But I mean, like, do this much homework. This much. It's not asking much here. I mean, you could pull this shit with Lorna and Joey and probably nobody will bat an eye, but Liza's her own big name, and her career is well documented, so what the fuck? And don't start me on Sid. First off, we almost tried to paint him as a sympathetic character, which... don't even fucking start me on. Second, they didn't even try to make him look creepy, which, again, Google's a thing. You gotta look what Sid Luft looked like. Yeah. So, I mean, their casting choices, not great. Hell, even their young Judy, from back when it was supposed to be during the filming of Oz, not only did she not really look like her, okay, so you gave her a 1930s hairstyle, and vaguely the outfits, but again, this chick cannot even close to do Judy's voice or the way, her mannerisms in which she speaks. Renee did pretty well with it at times, but the other girl did not. So that kept taking me out of the moment and was very distracting every time that it went back to those scenes. Yet in one of those flashback scenes where, well, actually it was a few of them, anytime they showed Mickey Rooney, I was actually very impressed with whoever they hired as Mickey Rooney. Not Mickey Deans, Mickey Rooney. They actually got somebody who looked a lot like him, which is kind of surprising, because I didn't know there was anyone else on this planet that looks like Mickey Rooney, other than, like, his own grandchildren, but apparently there are, and they found one who could actually kinda sorta sound like him. I mean, the voice wasn't his own, but it was close enough to be like, oh shit, okay, yeah, I know exactly who that's supposed to be. Louis B. Mayer, I mean, close enough to where you can tell who it was supposed to be, but also no. Even the order of events of what happened in those flashback scenes, I take some issue with the timelines of how they laid this out, because there's just so many inaccuracies. But at the same time, I can appreciate the level of detail in which they played to, like, the photo shoot for Judy's birthday party that wasn't really her birthday party, but it was from the studio just for the press. They actually did do a good job of recreating that to an extent. I know that I've seen pictures of other people in that pool, though, at that photo shoot. So it's not like it was purely a prop that nobody was meant to get into, because people were in it in the actual real-life photos. So I don't know what that whole thing was, other than just a plot device to illustrate just how much Judy had zero power or free will over her own life while she was working for MGM. I get the feeling that a lot of the artistic changes to timelines and factual details had everything to do with that, and just making it more publicly consumable and easy to understand for somebody who doesn't obsessively know her life. But there's that. Now, let me take a sip of my coffee real quick. Okay. So, Renee. When I heard that Renee Zellweger was going to be playing Judy, not gonna lie, I died inside a little. I generally don't like her very much. I don't have any, like, personal beef against her, just as an actress. She's not that great, in my opinion. She looks nothing like her, except whatever they did, okay, yeah, they did end up making her look like her, but I mean, just when I first heard that she was going to be the one playing her, I was like, how the fuck are you gonna make her look like Judy Garland? Oh, this is gonna be a shit show. Yeah, well, that was like the one thing they did pull off correctly in this, so I mean, props to them for that. They did do that quite convincingly, actually. But I knew damn well her vocal chops are not up to snuff to sing Judy's music. Yeah, she can sing in her own way, but it's not gonna sound like Judy. I kind of knew that. I mean, I enjoyed her in Chicago, I will admit that. Outside of that one movie, I don't think I've ever actually liked her. She did okay in this, but I mean, her singing, there are like individual moments for like a couple seconds at a time be like, okay, I forgot for a second that I wasn't listening to actually Judy, but the rest of it's like, no, it's just Renee Zellweger singing Judy Garland songs with a lot of auto-tune, which also detracts from sounding like Judy, because there was no auto-tune back then, and all of the little imperfections in her voice are part of what added up to what made it so appealing, so raw, so emotional, everything that you could pick up on in her voice that was naturally there. That is part of what made Judy such a lasting legend. So for them to auto-tune the crap out of Renee's voice to even attempt this, I'm like, no. What the hell are we doing? So there's that. But her speaking voice, though, I mean, anytime that she spoke low and quietly, she could do the inflections in her voice and sound like Judy if she was speaking low. The moment she had to raise her voice for anything, for any reason, not even necessarily yelling, just even speaking more loudly, out the window, just sounds like Renee again. And it would, like, dip back and forth between the two, like, even mid-scene. It was so distracting. And I was like, I mean, if she could have perfected it to get that down for all of the lines, I'd say give this woman an Oscar, because that's fucking impressive. I can't do that either. I mean, I can kind of do it a little bit for the softer speaking myself. I cannot do it for louder. So, I mean, I get that it is difficult, if not impossible, to pull off. But I mean, Judy existed and clearly was able to do it with her own voice, so there must be a way to do it. But I'm trying to figure out how to do that when that's not naturally your voice. Little tricky there. But she's a professional. I kind of figured from the trailers that maybe she'd pull this off, but no, only in the softer speaking scenes. And even then, it kind of, on some of them, dips back and forth between the two. Although it's less jarring and less noticeable when it happens. But I think because I was so already in nitpicking mode, I can talk. into nitpick mode, I was paying attention to it, just like I was paying attention to everything, right down to, oh shit, they forgot to make her left-handed. That, not even like a crucial plot point by any stretch of the measure, but I mean, they spent such painstaking detail getting her to master all her physical mannerisms of how she moved, which, okay, in the onstage scenes, I will give her credit that she did pretty much flawlessly. Except for the fact that they forgot to make her left-handed and she held the mic in the wrong hand. And I mean, every time she did anything involving her hands, oh, suddenly this Judy is right-handed. I'm like, this shouldn't bother me nearly as much as it does, but oh my god, it's killing me that she's not left-handed, and oh my god. This would be like doing a Beatle movie and Paul McCartney's not left-handed. Like, ugh, it makes me crazy. Because there was quite a few scenes where this was very visibly a thing, and I'm just like locked and loaded on that. And I'm like trying to not zero in on it, but the harder I tried to not notice it, the more my brain just was like laser focused on why is she right-handed. And I think I was like starting to wonder, so is this one of those things where it's gonna like oscillate back and forth, where some scenes she's left-handed, some scenes she's right-handed because we forgot? No, they like just didn't bother. She's just right-handed the whole film. She also didn't have her signature white microphone, which bothered me. I know, again, totally not an important plot point at all by any means, but just as an obsessive fan, like, oh my god, you paid so much detail to certain things, but other ones like that should have been like really obvious. How did you not get that? Hell, even if you just painted one white, just anything. It wasn't even the right kind of microphone, because she has like very petite, skinny microphones she liked to use by that era. Yeah, they didn't bother with that. I'm not gonna lie, I about died laughing when I saw how they represented Lonnie Donegan. At least it seemed like they got legitimately a Liverpudlian to play him, but that's not what Lonnie looks like either. The whole scene where there's the two gay guys that keep waiting outside of every show, and they go to literally every showing of hers and are like autograph hunting and stuff, and she like literally goes home with them because she wants to like go get dinner, but nowhere's open at that hour. So they take her back to their flat and they try to make her dinner, and there's like this whole thing where they fuck up dinner and she takes over cooking, and then they tell her, no, you're our guest, you are not going to cook. Sit down. It's like this whole thing. And they're talking about how the last time she was in London, they weren't able to see her together because one of them was in jail for being gay, because it was illegal back then, which, yes, that is true. That was a thing. I don't know if this interaction ever actually happened, or if this was seriously just a queer-baiting plot device to point out, oh, just in case anyone forgot, Judy was an ally for the gays, and vice versa. Yeah, I mean, I was like, there's so many more important things we should have been working with here, but we just wasted all that time on the scene that may not have even actually happened in real life. Correct me if I'm wrong. If that actually happened, I will sit down and shut up on that point, but I feel like they threw that in as a completely fictionalized scene that they wrote that was seriously just for the sake of pointing out, oh hey, let us not forget about the connection of Judy and the gays. I don't think anybody could forget that connection if they wanted to. That was completely unnecessary. I don't know, it felt forced. It felt cheesy, actually. I mean, on one hand, a little bit sweet, but on the other, it was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? I mean, I wouldn't doubt that maybe something like this happened at some point, but I have the gut feeling that this was completely just for the screen. This whole thing was based off of a stage show in London from several years ago, and everyone I've ever known who has seen it has done nothing about it except bitch about factual inaccuracies, and if this is any representation of that, not gonna lie, yeah, I kind of see why they complain about them. There's just so many things that don't line up with reality. But then there's other ones where it's like, I actually do have bootlegs of a lot of the Talk of the Town performances. And yeah, actually, a lot of that they did get correct. What they left out in all of their auto-tuning of Renee's voice is how fragile Judy's voice was by this point, and yet they're trying to make these songs sound like the recordings on the Judy Garland show from, like, 1963. And I'm like, I see what you're doing. I see what you're trying to recreate. I can tell why, for a wide audience that aren't the obsessive fans, why you'd want to go with one that's more polished and stuff. But if we're going for realism here, still not it. So there's that. But I will give credit where credit's due. Things like the costumes they had her wear. These actually, I recognized virtually everyone. There's maybe 2 or 3 outfits out of the film where I was like, I don't think I ever saw her wear that. I think I saw her wear something similar to that. I think I know what they're trying to recreate here. It's the mark's over here, you hit about over here. I mean, it's not terrible, but I mean, the others were so spot on to where those, I'm like, what are those? But the ones they got right, they really did get right, and I will give them major props for that. The attention to her dressing room, actually, in one scene, was pretty spot on, except for one detail that bugged the shit out of me, because it's a very famous photo it's based on. I cannot be the only person who noticed this, but Judy has a 3-paneled photo frame of her kids. Except in the movie, there's like a picture of Lorna, a picture of Joe, and a picture of Lorna and Joe in there. Where the fuck's Liza? In the real life one, it has one of each of her kids in there. Just saying. Why the fuck this film tried so hard to erase Liza from everything, I don't know. I don't know if whoever wrote the screenplay of this has a beef against her, and I don't know if maybe this was because she was so adamantly against this project that maybe the only way she didn't threaten to sue was if they just left her the fuck out of it as much as humanly possible beyond that one scene just to acknowledge she existed, but beyond that, no. I don't know if maybe that's what happened there, but that bugged the ever-loving shit out of me, as well as just her general absence in this when she was not that absent, even by this point in time. Yes, it is true that there did reach a point where she was dodging Judy's phone calls because she would call her in the middle of, like, crises after crises, and she just emotionally couldn't take it. But she still adored her mama. She still does to this day. And to basically try and erase her like that, like she just didn't care, that irks me to no end. I don't know. And just the whole thing with the custody battle and Sid and Judy, just, there's so much off base even with that. There's so many complaints. I'm sure I'm forgetting a shit ton. I'm sure when this movie comes out and I watch it again, because yeah, I will admit, I'll probably end up buying it, because that is what I do. I even bought Lorna's movie from the 90s that was based on Judy. As terrible as that thing is, I own not one but 2 copies of it, actually. Just in case one gets scratched up. I mean, that thing is so hilariously bad for all the wrong reasons, to where I was like, oh no, this needs to be preserved for fucking ever. Same thing, I'll probably do the same thing here. I don't think I'll buy 2 copies of it, I'll just buy the one, but I'll probably go back through and, like, actually make a list of all the things I notice. Yeah, I don't know. But there was a ton of stuff that I was noticing it while I was watching it. I had my phone in my purse and was trying to subtly take notes on it, but I was scared of getting caught in there and didn't want to get told to put my phone away or get threatened to get kicked out or anything, so I was trying to be subtle, and I didn't get nearly as many notes jotted down as I wanted to, so there's that. But I mean, once it's like out, I mean, actually, Amazon, or not Amazon, YouTube, where you can like rent movies and buy movies on there, it actually has a place to pre-buy it or pre-order it already. So I have a feeling it probably won't be too long before I have a copy of it at home to reference again and really go thoroughly through it and nitpick the ever-loving shit out of it at home when I can pause and go back and reference and cross-reference and everything. And yeah, I'm that kind of fan. I know, I'm the kind of fan that people will look down their noses at like, oh my god, why the fuck do you care that much? I don't know why I care that much, but I do. So, I always have, I always will. It's how I am with all of my fandoms. I'm ultimately harmless, but I mean, am I probably annoying with it? Yeah. Am I very vocal about it? Yeah. But, whatever. What the point would be of making said list, I don't know, other than there just being a hard copy list to put online somewhere for people to reference of all the things that this film got wrong. But I will give it credit for getting some of the things right, which, frankly, is more than I figured was gonna be the case. Just saying. But overall, did I enjoy it? Even with as much as it got wrong, I did enjoy watching it. I will give it credit for that. I would say if you're watching it, not as a biopic so much, but it's just like a loosely based off the life of Judy Garland kind of deal, yeah, it's fine. But don't act like you know her life just because you watched this, because it's, I mean, although they got some of the things right, they're not in the right order, they're not that close. Actually do your homework and learn her life the way it actually happened if you're going to try and go that route. Now, why is the phone ringing at 6 in the morning? I don't know. But anyway, I swear it's every time I turn the camera on. But anyways, there's another Judy movie coming out, but it's on Showtime sometime this month. It's just called Sid and Judy. I fully expect that may be a shit show too, just for who all it involves. Oh, that was one more plot point that bothered me. Okay, so we're mentioning Sid. We're mentioning Mickey. What happened to husband number 4? What the fuck happened to Mark Herron? Did he just not happen in this universe? Like, he is not even given so much as a footnote, which I'm like, that is a pretty big fuck you to him. I mean, maybe deservedly so, but by that token, Sid probably shouldn't have been acknowledged either, but, I was just like, what the fuck? Also, they did not show her death, which I will give them credit for, because I got nervous, like, the further it got in, I was like, oh no, we gotta be real close to it. Because I didn't realize they'd fucked up the timeline so badly. So I figured we gotta be, like, right on the brink of it, right? And then, oh, it just ended. Oh. Okay, well, at least we didn't go there, so I'm glad we didn't go there, 'cause I don't think I really wanted to cry, so, there's that. There's one scene where she was having a breakdown on the bathroom floor, and she was laying pretty still. I was like, oh no, no, this is only an hour in, why is she already dead? No, okay, no, she's breathing. She's fine. So I was just like, oh, fuck, the second I saw that. Because Mickey was there, and she's on the bathroom floor, and I'm like, yeah, I will admit, even if it would have been factually accurate to do it, I would not have been very comfortable watching them do that. So I'm glad they didn't go there. That would have been very exploitative of them. I'm very glad that they didn't do it. So, I did think it was a nice touch, including the Wizard of Oz quote that they did right at the start of the credits at the end. I don't know, it was a nice touch. It always seems to get thrown around when talking about Judy's life, and I mean, it's an appropriate one, but yeah, I don't know if I can really give this movie a rating in terms of like a star rating, because I have such mixed and conflict emotions about it. So I feel like I cannot in good conscience give it one in that sense, but I can just give you my feelings across the board of how I felt about it, with the caveat that even with all that it got wrong, it's still a decent watch. I would still say, especially if you're a fan, it's probably worth watching at least once. You don't have to commit to it to buy it or anything, but I mean, I would at least just watch it just one time, just to see what it's all about, even with all the issues. Just, it is an interesting watch, if nothing else. So, oh my god, I've been talking for half an hour about this thing. I did not realize that this got that long, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So, you guys know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Have you guys seen this movie yet? If so, what were your thoughts on it, good, bad, or otherwise? Let me know, as well as anything about anything. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel, oh, I'm talking way too fast because the caffeine's kicking in. If you like what I do, damn, one more time. If you like what I do here on this channel, and if you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time, bye-bye.